So in Satisfactory Update 7, we now have blueprints, which allow us to build entire factories in a single click. So I've been busy building these hyper compact and modular factories, because instead of building individual machines, we can just build an individual production line, just like so. So now I have a ton of blueprints that can make motors, steel, ludicrous amounts of iron, or just balance out belts for future factories. And now today I want to work on a bunch of modular decorations for our new mega factories. So hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where yes, we're messing with blueprints again today, because I am just entranced with this. Everything's modular, everything is a piece to a bigger puzzle, and it is so much fun to mess around with. And we're gonna be messing with a lot of decorative stuff today, but first, I made something crazy. As I was fiddling around, I realized I'm gonna need a lot of wire in the future. So I made this. The chunk. It is, what? I think 30 constructors? Something like that. There are 8 per floor, so, oh gosh, 8, 16, 24, 25 constructors. And this makes 1,404 wire per minute out of a 780 belt of iron ore, using this iron wire recipe. And yeah, it's a crazy one. But a lot of fun to throw together. Similar to our other designs, everything just goes in one location, kind of overflows through the rest of the system, and then all the outputs gather up to scoot out somewhere else. Except for this one is a little bit crazier because all the inputs just go in there, and then has to have 2 outputs way up here. So we're kind of pushing the limit of what we could do with blueprints with this. But yeah, if you like these blueprint designs, they're available on my Patreon right now. So you can check that out through the link in the description. But on to today's activities, we want to make designs and decals for our factories. Because like how factories used to be, like just spammed up giant boxes or spaghetti messes, we can just make factory pieces all in the Blueprint Designer and then stack them all together. For example, it's a factory block. And these factory blocks are kind of the foundations to our bases now. We can just snap them wherever we really want, like here. And then we have a huge foundation to work with. We can build underneath here, and there's a little power nub so we can connect to the next factory block. And it should work out pretty well. It would work out a little better if we could zoop them, but my goodness, look at how fast we're building. It's hard to complain nowadays, eh? Anyway, we want to do this except with factory designs. Like walls that can clip together, but they kind of look cool. Roof patterns, just random decorations and whatnot. Let's go from the bottom up here. And one thing we could really use is kind of like a foundation. Because usually what I do with these factories is I just like have this go into the ground, make it all concrete, and that would be the foundation of the base. But we could do some more interesting stuff. Like, it doesn't need to be anything crazy, but a tiny bit of detail goes a long way. Also, one of the best things with the blueprint maker here is that there are all these different places you can snap things to. So usually if you're working on blocks like this, you're just working in that 4x4 grid. Here, it's like every little meter is counted and it's great. So we could do something like this. Throw in some walls here, make this all concrete. Thank you. We could have the actual base foundation up there. And then if this is all concrete too, we kind of have this weird little divot thing. And if I raise it up a little bit, it's easier to see, but this is kind of what I'm getting at. We could have this just on the ground level, and that could go and hit like the terrain. Then we also have the opportunity to add in extra little decals, like for example, if we wanted a belt wall going in here, through the foundation of the base, it doesn't look out of place anymore because we could just add that in like wherever. Or we could have a little vehicle entrance by adding in something like this. So we could have car entrances, we could have belt entrances. So this decoration is modular and adjustable to whatever you want. This is what I mean with like the modular base pieces. Like they have a little bit of decor to them, but they can easily be adjusted to whatever the needs are in that situation. So I'd say this is a good start. So in a practical sense, we're trying to add this now onto here. How'd that go? Do you like to snap to things, sir? Well, I guess we make it work eventually. There we go. And then depending on the terrain, how that's going. We'd have to just extend these to the ground. But all the snap points are already in place, so it's not like that's very difficult at all. And these would go into the ground. And this is at least just a little bit better than just a normal flat wall. And then when we're building further up, we could start from here. This could be our wall or whatever we want it to be. And we can even make the outside a balcony of sorts. Again, it kind of depends on the situation we're in. It looks pretty cool. But okay, cleared that one out. I'm not sure what else we could do with the base foundations aside from having the factory block and then the little decal on the side there. So let's start working on some wall stuff. With walls, most of the time, we're probably just gonna end up with some giant flat wall. And we just wanna make them more interesting. So maybe we could just do something similar, where we add in just a different type of wall. And then when we find it necessary, we can kind of just click it into a space to add a little bit of extra design. Why does that not want to build though? Identical thing already there? Ah, interesting. I'll be honest, I don't really know what's up with that. But I guess we could do something like this, just like the pattern we just built. And then we can just change up the wall style to maybe be steel. Background could be concrete. And then we do something to the base here. Maybe just make it another bit of concrete. That looks pretty cool. We could just turn this into a belt wall if we so wanted. Or what else could we do? Some horizontal stuff would be nice. Ooh, or some beams. Love beams. Let's throw some beams at the end here. Adds a little bit more detail. We can keep them red. Adds in a bit of color, a little bit of splash. Or we could paint it black. I see a red beam and I want to paint it black. That looks all right. And how could we go even further beyond? Pillars? This is probably gonna get a little insane at this point. We could have these just going across. So it doesn't really make any sense why we'd ever want this or do this. It's really, again, just to fill out space on a boring wall. It's better this than just like a giant red wall. And that design can be stacked all the way up. It could be made wider, shorter, etc. And it doesn't look too bad. Let me try again though and add a few extra details. And you know what? I think I overdid it. A lot. Jeez Louise. I don't know, I just kept on adding more things, like more pillars, added in these ones to the side, and now it's kind of like, I have no idea. Like, I'm just imagining, I'm building a factory, and I just have like a giant red wall. Actually, you know what? What if we just try adding it to what we're building over here? Let's see. How would it kind of look? Could it? Dude, the snapping of these is crazy. Come on, behave. How's that? Takes forever to build. It's kind of cool though. And then, it kind of is neat. Because the foundation is so boring, it really adds a big splash. And then if the rest of the walls are just, I don't know, maybe just red, like most of our factories, that could be pretty neat. Yeah, very importantly, it adds depth. One big thing with building is you always want to have a little bit of depth. I guess the worst thing about giant walls is not that they're just boring, but they're flat. You gotta have things moving in, moving out, moving all around. In fact, we could make this whole wall look 10x better if we brought this wall over here further out. See, look at that. Pretty cool, and we have the different height variations as well. See, this is what I mean. It's like we start with like the factory blocks, but then we can add or take away some things and kind of put the pieces together. It's almost like playing with Lego, except there's really annoying nature all over the place. Anyway, gets the point across. We might change that a bit later or make some alternates of it, but for now, it is clear. And let's build something a little bit more simple. So quickly jumping into our Let's Play world here, I just wanted to try and copy some of the designs we've been using in this playthrough. So one big thing I really enjoy doing is adding in windows, like who doesn't? But the big thing is adding in the beams just to outline them. So I've done this in quite a few builds, but just to have like a basic template to follow or a blueprint to spam would be super helpful. Like even just a smaller one like we have at our nuclear power plant here, where we can just set them all up in a nice, beautiful row and call her a day. Like it fills out a wall perfectly. Oh, or like back at the plastic plant, the crazy box wall window thing we built. This is what I'm saying. It's a very flat, boring wall, so I was like, we need some depth. So we brought a window out of the wall to kind of add something to it. Now, mind you, it's still a pretty flat wall, and we probably will work on this further in the future, but right now, this is pretty good. But honestly, it's how it makes the interior look, which I like the most. Like, look at this. Oh, dude, it's just so cool, man. Feel like you're in some kind of like super posh hotel or something, you know? I don't know what it is. Or like you're in a skyscraper. Just gonna like scoot out over here. You can just look down like infinitely. Maybe that's what's doing it? I'm not sure, but it's just so picturesque. So how are we gonna make that in a small version? How did I even build that out in the first place? Probably use these guys. So let's start with the wide window first. One that kind of like sticks out that we're just looking at. Let's see. Well, I was using pillars. It's probably just like this then, eh? I'd raise these all the way up on both sides, make the foundation concrete, and then copy it upstairs. Please fit. Oh, are we gonna be mean? Gonna be mean. It's okay. We can work with things. So we do that, bring you back down. Why is this guy crying? Stop. We're one step away from greatness. We just need a window. Please this actually be how it's set up? It is. Yeah. No, it's not. Also, regardless of anything, it looks way too tall. I want small. So quick redesign. First we add in the pillars, about there. Then we throw on the slabs and we clip them into the pillars. This goes up, clips again. You retexture it. Now for the windows. Oh, here we go. We build them on the floor. Okay, and that makes it all nice and matchy-matchy. Gotcha. Past Kibs, why you make this so complicated? I do not know. That looks really cool. Definitely a nice, snug version. The cool thing with all these kinds of blueprints, though, is if you want a larger version, like the pattern's already started, so you can just kind of get rid of one side, get rid of the pillar, and get rid of the top. And then you can just build this out to whatever dimensions you really want. But right now, I just want small window. So we're sticking with that. Now for tall window. This is way more simple. Just a boop, bop, and a little inset window. And then we spam the beams. 1,000 beams across the sky. And we could leave it red, but I'd rather not. So we'll make it black. And you know what? No, I did this wrong. I can't believe I've done this. We can't have this little thin line in the middle there. It ruins everything. It must be destroyed. In fact, I want a foundation on the top and bottom as well, just to kind of like close it in. I don't know, maybe I'm being a little crazy about things at this point, but no, you know what? No, this is a blueprint. We're gonna be using this all the time into the future. We want it to be just right, or else future Kibs is gonna be like, bruh, why? And oh yeah, dude. Super worth it. It's so simple, but so elegant. But you know, you guys let me know what you like more. Do you like the thin foundation? Or what about a thick foundation? I'm kind of thinking the thick foundation. Because when you stack the design together, there's a bit of room, and the thickness kind of adds a bit more to it. Okay, at this point, maybe I am going a little insane. Don't mind me. We saved it, cleared it, and on to the next thing. So we've kind of worked with the floors and the foundations, messed with some walls and windows. Let's work on some factory ceiling type stuff. That could be fun. Something nice and simple would be a skylight. There are already like roof things in the game, but they're kind of like, you know, they're nice, but we could do something more custom and nicer. Smile. Especially with concrete and blocks like this. So we just have a little row. Always make it concrete, or at least I always do, because the other ones are too textured. Then we can just add in some glass frame foundations, just to zoop them on through. We'll kind of do the same over here. That's pretty good. We don't have, there's still kind of those black lines on the sides. I wish it was just all glass, you know? Or what if we try something completely different, like a roof, and then we use the glass roof foundation? Okay, that is even worse. But after a little bit of fiddling, I managed to make it work out. So now this is built kind of in a way that both the black edges are nestled into the foundations here. And there still is the middle bars kind of scooting through, but you know, if we're flying over top and we look down and see this, I think it looks good, eh? But it has a bit of an inherent problem. So if you're building this, I used these 4.5-meter foundations. So what happens is you have this awkward bit of space here. So I'm not sure how most people will fit this into their factories. Will be a little odd, I guess. Does it look weird from the bottom? Yeah, it do. Plus I didn't even place that right. Let's try that one more time. Let's see. Doesn't really matter how good it looks if it's not a very usable block. That is pretty dang weird. So maybe we do something a little bit different. Similar, but different. So you always gotta be thinking how it's gonna fit into the rest of your build. So I guess we have to start from there, and everything should end about here. That way it's 4 kind of foundations wide. That means this would be in the middle at this point, and then that can still be placed, ooh, like right here, and it can zoop. Oh, dude, okay, so we just need to make it like a tiny bit wider, and the whole thing works out. That wasn't bad at all. So let's just save that one more time. Check that out. Way easier to incorporate in our builds. Well, it actually is able to incorporate into our builds now. Still weird to place, though. Mostly because of those half foundations. Okay, like legit so annoying to place. We're gonna change the entire blueprint just so we can use it easier. So we're gonna cut the end off, place just a foundation there, call this variant. But does that even help at all? No. Made everything worse. Ah! Oh, hold up though. I see the solution. We just need the glass foundation there, and then it just stacks on like so. Okay, well that works. It'll be super annoying having to actually delete this every time and then have to replace these, but it's not too bad at the end of the day, so long as I actually place it correctly. Yeah, at the end of the day. Overall, looks pretty cool, and we can keep it for later. Let's just save it again, clear it, and work on something else now. So we have like a skylight, that's pretty straightforward. You know, we have all these cool bricks and stuff. What if we made like a different kind of skylight? Like a kind of weird shape. Like, let's just make a box here. Let's try and make like a triangle inside the little box. Because with everything blending together, yeah, we could just zoop this across, right? Zoop? Oh, I thought this was gonna be simple. This might not be simple. Zoop? Zoop? What if we twisted this a bit and then zoop? Did we lose our zooper? Come on. Ah! Okay, let's just get the concept down then. We do something like this. This area can be glass, and then down here, we can have some cool like lines scooting up, and we kind of have this like cool little triangle pattern. Ooh, this totally is gonna work. Look, we don't need to worry about zooping into the corner because we can just add in this block here, right? Come on, then you click onto there. But then we have this like weird space there. Okay, conceptually, it's kind of neat, eh? And then we'd throw down some glass just with the metal foundations again, these guys. Oh, but then we run into that problem where we have the giant steel bars there. That kind of ruins everything. Does it? Oh, it does. Okay, well look, I fiddled with it for a while, kept the general concept, except no more windows. Instead, it's tar. It's just a tar roof. So using the roof flat and using the extra skin thing, the tar roof, it kind of just switches up the design. It's kind of pointless because now you only will notice it when you're flying over and you don't get the light, but I don't know, it's something. I wanted to keep the shape, look neato, so we got it. Just out of curiosity though, how does it look from underneath? Hopefully it's not turbo bad. That's looking turbo bad, Chief. Not exactly hyper turbo bad, but it's definitely not good. Okay, look. The idea was kind of good, execution kind of bad. Let's move on. I want to mess with some walls a little bit more and do some interior ceiling work, mostly to do with the lights. Like, I like adding lights to buildings in specific scenarios, but they always kind of look the samey. So what if we could do something a little different? Like how we did in our storage room, where we kind of had a pattern, kind of almost like this, with the lights kind of behind it. But would light even shine through this? I don't even know. Oh, well, genius idea. Why don't we just go back to our playthrough world and see how the storage room looks? And we'll know. So I do have a similar kind of pattern to that. And you do see the lights. I don't even know if they actually do anything though. Are they doing anything? Are they even on? They're clearly on. Or are they? Storage room, nightlight. Yes? Literally cannot tell. Okay, look, against all evidence, I don't care. I want to try this out. I think it's gonna be cool. There's practically 0% chance it will work, but man, dude, I'm willing to take the bet. So I've made this weird grid pattern beneath some lights, and I'm thinking it's gonna look like a kind of office vibe underneath when the lights are switched on. So let's go find out. Oh my gosh, and even if the lights don't work, dude, this looks crazy, man. Pretty jazzed with this, just as like a design concept. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Instead of like something like this, or even with belts on the ceiling, like this is super future, man. All right though, but with the lights on, what happens? Oh, what the? Okay, I didn't think that would happen. A lot of things could have happened, but that is, huh. So I do like it, it's just very weird. We've created a little box light thing, okay, but all the light flows through the bottom here. Very, very, very unique. I did not know you can mess with lighting in even remotely possible ways like this. That opens up a lot of creative avenues, but even for this design, I like this a lot. That is really cool, it's really different, and we're definitely gonna use this in projects. Dang, neato little discovery. Anyway, after that, I kind of started listening to a podcast and messed around with some random things. So I'll just show you off some of the decorative pieces I've put together. Like this little top of base decal. So usually I end up building factories and there's some weird spots where it's just like a brick of space. So I was like, hey, why not make some kind of like art piece for those weird places? So I have this little 2x2 brick. Then I made a 1x1 brick, which is more so rounded. Has a couple like lights on there. I don't know, it's interesting. And then for the walls, sometimes windows just don't work out or there's nothing to see on the other side of the window. So I made this, I don't even know what you could really call it. It's just this. I don't get it either, okay? The cool thing with it though, is you can stack the design a bunch of times and then you could maybe add like a painted wall behind it. At least that's how I will probably use it going forward, if I could ever place it. Yeah, when you clip it together, add it in a huge line, it looks relatively interesting. Maybe have to like cut a piece out here and there. Yeah, if anything, it's better than just like a plain old flat wall. Got kind of like a vibe going. If you like painted the back, something different, that's kind of cool too. Or straight up just change the material. I don't know, you start to get something going there. Ooh, or if you want to have another cool window design, I was just messing around with triangles and I made this diamond kind of window. So if you want to build like a futuristic kind of base, got this cool like diamond. It's like an infinity window too. Like if you look from below, you can't see the end of the window. You look from above, you can't see the end either. And that's just because there's a bit of a space in between here. It'll be a little difficult to fit this into your own base, but it's something. I don't know. I was just having fun. But on the more practical side of things, I rebuilt my storage room as a blueprint. Because man, oh man, do people love to say how much they like my storage room. So I was like, hey, let's make it available for download. Yeah, it's not like a super complicated build. The big thing is just these signs that point towards the bin. So when you're going through either forward or backwards through the storage room, you can see where things are. Plus like the little floor decal is nice. I will say one problem with it though, is that it's not super stackable like most other designs. So when you do build it, you're gonna have to do the flooring yourself because I couldn't make this connect properly. So you're gonna have to delete some of the glass and then replace this going forward, along with some of the lights and stuff down here. It's not too difficult, but trust me, it's a whole lot less tedious than setting up all these bins and signs at the right height and all that jazz. Anyway though, that is gonna be all for today, but again, all these things are available on my Patreon now, so you can go check that out, link in the description, and I'll probably stop making blueprints for 5 seconds for the next little bit as well, so we can get back to our usual kind of let's play stuff. But still, hope you guys enjoyed and thank you for watching, but have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.